Hey, Nick.
What up, homie?
Not much. What did the buffalo say to his son when he dropped him off at the first day of sleepaway camp?
What did the buffalo say?
Bye, son.
Ha 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 ha.
We don't have it yet. Hello, all you cool cats and daddies. This is your good friend Dusty Rhodes wishing you a special Father's Day from We Don't Have It Yet. Thanks, Dusty. I appreciate that intro. Wow, can you believe that we got Dusty Rhodes on our
Finally!
podcast here?
Oh, I've been wanting him so long.
Yeah. Thank you, Dusty. No problem, Daddy. Uh, I don't know why I wanted to do that, but hey, anyway,
I
welcome
love it.
to We Don't Have It Yet. I am Wyatt. That was Dusty Rhodes, who was definitely not Wyatt, and this is Nick. How we doing, Nick?
Shit, partner.
I'm great, man.
We got a fun episode, I think, for you here. It's been a little while since we recorded the last one because we needed to record a couple days early because Wyatt went on vacation, so we've got some catching
Yeah,
up to
you
do.
did.
I think you went and saw a movie today for Father's Day. I went on vacation and successfully made it home. Xbox, once again, Microsoft doesn't really seem to know what the hell they're doing in the console market, and we'll talk about that a little bit. I went and saw 3 Banana Ball games this weekend, and I think we've got some Backlog Buster Brothers to go through. So why don't we get started, Nick?
Yo.
What did you go see today?
Oh, let me see if you can tell me. Da-da-da. And so
So
for
obviously Flash Gordon is
Yep,
what you
nailed it.
So please tell me that song was actually in the movie.
I think the theme was, and I have a lot to say about the music in this movie. Um,
Well, let's hear it. Let's get going.
Oh yeah, so new Masters of the Universe movie. God man, I don't know where to land on this one. I really don't. It was not bad. But it sure as hell wasn't great.
I mean,
Um
that's what I expected.
yeah, yeah, there were some odd choices throughout and a lot of trying to cover too many bases. I don't know whether that's studio involvement or what. And I don't know, it was odd throughout. I just kind of did a couple double takes. Perhaps the oddest part, or regretfully the best part, Jared Leto like absolutely knocks it out of the park, man. He's the best part of the whole movie.
I can
Sorry to
sense a
say.
little bit of sarcasm here, I hope.
No, like
Oh
he's
no.
great as Skeletor. He's fantastic. He really
Oh
is.
god.
Um, he's not. You don't see like any vision of him at any point like before. He just had a skull face, so he's not really, I guess, quote in the movie. I don't know
His
if they did
voice
mocap for
acting
his
is
performance or if it's just him voice acting. I don't really know. But yeah, what they did with his character was actually kind of great. Um, they very much play him up as like a baby man despot. Um, Idris Elba plays Man at Arms. Like he was great. With what he had to work with. The guy that plays Adam, Nicholas, is it Galizine? Nicholas? I don't know. Galitzine? I was not familiar with him. He's okay enough. They really, really put him in this kind of like babe in the woods type role, wide-eyed and really innocent type of character and hates violence and stuff. Um, I don't know. I'm gonna need to chew on this one for a while. Allison Brie played Evil Lynn. That didn't really work for me, even though I
really.
normally love her in most things. Um, she's kind of there as more comic relief than any type of evil. And funnily enough, every time she was kind of on screen, it made me think of like Kristen Wiig and a SNL skit about He-Man. And just looking at the cast right now, I'm seeing that one of the voice robots in the movie was actually Kristen Wiig, which is kind of funny. Um, so it's trying to do the whole kind of wink and nod meta thing because like we know that the original show and toy line were all kind of ridiculous and these character names were very stupid and contrived. Um, there's a lot of like pointing fun at that the character's name is like Trapjaw or Ram Man. Um, or the one guy is called Fist, or I can't remember. You
Fisto?
might, yeah, Fisto. So, but like in what should be the kind of fun nod and wink stuff for the older audience, they keep like making repeated jokes about Fisto fisting people, and it's just like kind of dumb and sophomoric. And Ram Man, they're like, "Go on, go give him some head." I'm like, ha 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 ha. There's not a lot of character going on in this, and I just realized that Morena Baccarin was the sorceress, and I didn't even notice that in the movie. She looked kind of like Kim Cattrall, which was kind of weird. Uh, it, the whole thing was tonally off, and so there's Dolph Lundgren does make an appearance, but it's really ham-fisted and shoehorned in, and you know how like was it that movie The Rundown came out with The Rock in like
Oh, yeah.
2003-ish, somewhere around there? And there's a very early scene in it where he's walking through a nightclub and walks past Arnold, and it's just like a blink and you'll miss it thing, and Arnold goes, "Have fun." And it was
Yep.
supposed to be like his tip of the cap to The Rock of taking over, action movies as the big action guy. This is like 90 seconds long of Dolph Lundgren, and it's like, have you not realized that I'm the old He-Man guy? Hey, audience, I was He-Man. Like, it's bad. Um, and He-Man, the Masters of the Universe, like the cartoon and the toys that the cartoon was made to sell, that was before my era a little bit even.
Oh, yeah.
I'm 83 born, and I remember getting like the box of He-Man action figures, but it was like, that my dad got for cheap from the neighbor kid that they had grown out of them. I was even a couple of years removed from this, and I do have vague memories of watching the cartoon, but I have more of a connection to that movie than anything, probably the 80s one. And this was like I said, trying to paint with a broad brush in a lot of places. Like it goes from like this epic He-Man score and reworking of that theme into Beastman just showed up on stage and it switches over to four non-blondes. What's going on?
Yep.
Because I guess the 90s are hot right now. Well, we're taking something from the early 80s here, guys. Like it's very tonally off in that regard, and it's just be like, hey kids, you love that era right now, so we're gonna just sort of make fun of how that was dumb and also try and have the same soundtrack deft hand that James Gunn does because that's just easy to do. So here's that song that was really massive that a ton of other people have already shoehorned into movies now, so we'll just use that. And that's like
Well,
one example that is repeated throughout the entire thing.
well, you do know why they played four non-blondes, right? There actually is a reason for that. It's not a good reason, but there is a
Oh,
reason
go
for it.
ahead. No, I'll take it.
Uh,
Maybe educate me.
Yeah, so there's a very incredibly famous He-Man meme where it shows He-Man singing what's going on, and
Okay. So
yes,
this was an Easter
so
egg for the fanboys. I got it.
yes,
Okay.
um, I will. You don't have to watch it now, but I'll show it to you after. But yeah, that's exactly what that is for. Is it's a direct
Okay. So
callback
that was over
to,
my head.
which is surprising because I feel like that was something that came out. Oh gosh, 16 years ago is what, at least this YouTube video is from 16 years ago. So
Well, I
it's at
just remember
least
the He-Man rainbow ejaculation meme uh, that I
which
think
is
led
part
to
of that whole thing actually.
Is it okay?
Yep. That
Maybe I
that
just
that is
wasn't that in
taken
on it.
from, yeah. Here, I'll give you the YouTube video to peruse at your leisure
And
after we
it's
record.
funny that you mentioned Flash Gordon because there's like, of course, the obligatory Queen song used in there. They do Princes of the Universe,
Yep.
and I don't know, it was just a bit much. But, having said all of this, it's a freaking He-Man movie, so, what am I really complaining about, I guess?
You saw it with the family, right?
Yeah, yeah.
What did the kid think?
He was, like, really, really, really into it,
Okay.
but confused, I think, because he had not a lot of background
Right.
except for the fact that we watched the first one on Friday, or not the first
Oh,
one,
did
but the
you?
'80s one, yeah.
Yeah, the 87 one.
Uh, which by is no means, great, but,
No, no, no.
if anything, I think it'll make actual Mattel toy Masters of the Universe fans happy because it's very loyal to a lot of the action figure original lines and stuff, and the character designs and all that stuff. Um, I would like to watch it again, I think. But there were parts that I could have done without. It was definitely too long. Um,
I think it was like almost 2.5 hours if I'm looking at this
yeah,
right.
and it did not need to be, especially with as little character as there really is here. Um, yeah, I don't know. It walks that really hard tightrope between honoring and mocking the thing that it is, and still trying to be cool. And I'm not sure if they stuck the landing, and I would say the audience response might just prove that. And throughout that, I was just kind of wondering who this is for. And there were like a couple other dads with teenage sons in there. So I know who it's for, but I don't know if the teenage sons were interested or if they were dragged there because it was Father's Day.
It's a really interesting property to bring back in 2026. I'm just thinking at this like from a broad strokes, like it's really weird, I guess, to bring this
Well,
back.
Barbie was a phenomenon, which
Yeah,
spurred,
but
and I
like
think Mattel has a film division now, so this was probably one of the early green lights that they came out with as soon as that, made a gazillion dollars.
I feel like Barbie is an anomaly though. Like yes, that was like that poked fun at Barbie stuff and everything, but and I guess I can't comment too much because I haven't seen He-Man yet,
Mhm.
but I don't know. I feel like the Barbie movie is an anomaly. And if you're just gonna try and same thing, with Marvel who struck gold, and then you have DC who's just trying to speed run everything, it almost feels like they got that fire once, and I am hoping they're not just gonna start throwing a bunch of crap at the wall and hoping they get another Barbie because that's how we just
That's what
get
Hollywood
crap.
do, man.
I know, and I hate it.
Yeah,
I hate it.
there's a lot of like heart and obviously like them trying to pay tribute to the things that I think fans really enjoy about Masters of the Universe, but at the same time make it accessible for everybody. And is this a kids movie? Is this edgy middle school PG-13ish type thing? Um yeah, there was like another scene early on where Idris Elba as Man at Arms tries to say "get fucked" in like a clever way, which they like combine with him punching somebody. Or it's a lot of that.
Yeah.
Not quite R type of thing, and
Straddling that line as best they
that's probably
can.
who they're going for, I guess. But Barbie's kind of got a lot more cross generational appeal than
Yes.
this is like I said, this is Gen X really. Uh,
Yeah, 83, I believe, is when the cartoon originally came out.
yeah, so it like started when I was born, so
Yeah.
it was probably already starting to slow down by the time that I was finding it and enjoying it, and thus getting the neighbor kids collection of He-Man toys. But I don't know if it's got enough legs to really still carry out right now, and it's not going to get a sequel because it did terrible numbers worldwide, unfortunately. I think it has an audience to find on streaming. It's not bad. It's just I don't know.
It looks like reviews actually aren't bad of it from what I'm seeing. So, but yeah, it might be something that as soon as it hits streaming, it finds a second life. But
I think it will, and I think it deserves to, but it's going for that Deadpool self-awareness, which is very, very hard to pull off.
yeah, Ryan Reynolds is the guy to do that, I think.
Well, that's also that franchise. Like you're
Yeah,
talking about a
that
comic
is
where the
Deadpool.
protagonist talks to the reader, so that makes sense there. Um, and there's just like a lot of nod and winking to like we understand how ridiculous some of this was, and it's like, well, I appreciate that too. So It's tough. It's just tough. So I'll be very interested to see, what you have to say when it inevitably lands on VOD in what, 10 days from
I was
now?
gonna say, I'm sure. I mean, movies seem to hit streaming within 30 days of release at this point.
Especially if they don't do well.
Yeah, I mean, I remember what was this mid 2000s when I was really into my collecting DVDs phase and stuff, and having to wait like 5 months after a movie left theaters for it to come out on
Oh,
physical.
yeah, I
And
mean,
God, that was such a pain.
it was a lot further back. I mean, you go into the VHS era, it could be, if you were a big release, it could be
Oh yeah,
9 months to a year, and then you had the copies that had to, if you wanted to buy it, it was like $100 to get a VHS copy of Jurassic Park, or you could rent it. And if you were me and, grew up in my family, you copied the copy that
copy
you
the
rented from
VHS.
Blockbuster. Yeah.
Yeah,
So it
that's like
always
all the movies I owned.
it perplexed me that people actually could spend $100 on a VHS, but they weren't even available for purchase. That was the rental window period. That's crazy.
Yeah, I
But
mean, I think growing up, 95% of my movies were just recorded VHS with pen written on the label of whatever it was, and it would
Mhm.
either be when we had the cable company would do like the HBO free weekend or
Yeah,
whatever.
buddy.
It would basically my parents would record any movie that came on during that free weekend, and yeah, I guess renting movies, they would just record those movies. Like I didn't own that many VHS tapes
I didn't
as a
own a
kid.
VHS tape
Yeah.
with a cover until I was probably in high school and bought them from, myself. So,
I
yeah, all
I
I ever knew was yeah, Sharpie on
yeah,
VHS tapes.
and I knew no different. I guess like that was all I knew growing up. That I didn't I never questioned it. I
Yeah,
mean,
I don't
probably
think I
as a
was yeah.
teenager I realized it. I'm like, "Oh,
Yeah.
wait."
That was piracy. Thanks, Dad.
And that's why I can't get crap for it as an adult if I do anything like that. Not saying that I do, but if I partook in piracy, every generation has done it. So
Hey, you did not use it for the purposes of profit or public screening or anything of that nature.
I'm using it for preservation.
That's right.
So, do you have? I know today's Father's Day. You went and see a movie. Are you doing anything special for dinner tonight, or?
That's kind of up in the air. My lovely family cooked a brisket. Our smoker
Oh,
control board on the electric one I had exploded, and we had the
oh
guys
no.
doing roofing outside yesterday, so I wasn't really trying to have them breathing in charcoal.
Fair.
So she suggested taking one of these briskets we had in the freezer and maybe just doing it like low and slow in the oven style,
Yep.
which turned out awesome. It's not the same animal as a smoked brisket at all, but it doesn't have to be.
It's very
Uh,
serviceable,
yeah, yeah, yeah. It
and more than
leans into
serviceable, it's very good. It's just not the same.
leans into the more the Jewish half of my heritage kind of
There you
thing.
go.
But that was awesome, and yeah, I think they're gonna be picking up a late lunch here for me soon. We had some plans to stop by a place for lunch, but I may have underestimated the power of draw on Father's Day. Um,
Did it involve meat?
yes,
Yeah, I'm sure every dad in the Chicagoland area has
yeah.
probably descended upon that
Oh my
location.
god, we drove past, like, the Weber Grill Steakhouse place, which I've never been to, but I think it's very, like, they cook everything on Weber's and, so obviously the parking lot was just
Yeah.
mobbed on Father's Day. But yeah, they'll be bringing back, something shortly here. I think I have a porchetta sandwich in my future. I'll
Ooh.
have to take you to this place. And, dinner remains a mystery, so you'll have to wait until next week to see what they surprise me with, I don't know.
Well,
But,
now you're gonna leave.
might still
Everyone's
be
definitely
full.
gonna listen.
You're right. What did Nick eat for dinner?
That is why people tune in to this.
Hmm.
Is they want to hear what Nick has eaten, what movie Nick has watched. I know we don't need to fully get into everything because I know when we were talking a little bit before we started recording, you said that you watched a ton of movies this week. What anything stick out that you've watched over the last week since we've last talked that
Well, I
piqued your
watched my
interest?
assignment. I actually did my homework.
At least
Uh,
one of us did. That's
heyo.
foreshadowing.
I finished up The Burrows on Netflix. I watched a movie with Mark Addy who you might know from Game of Thrones or The Full Monty or many other things.
Oh
About,
yes, yeah, yeah.
he's a portly fellow, jovial looking Englishman.
Yep.
But I watched a movie with him called Mother's Pride last night. It was about the most formulaic romantic comedy type movie ever, but charming enough, about a failing pub in rural England that have to enter a brewery competition to save the pub from their evil competition and wealthy landowner trying to take them over. It was very they want to take the community center away in the 80s vein, but
Yes.
surrounding pubs. That was fine. I'd recommend it if you want some light fare, but definitely very formulaic. Um, the main the main character guy is even like a formerly successful musician returning home to help save the pub of his dad's.
Sounds like a Lifetime movie.
Yeah, very Hallmark, but
A Hallmark movie, rather. Yeah.
yeah, but with lots of alcohol and English cursing.
So
Uh,
you want to know what I actually recognize Mark Addy from when I just looked him up and I had to verify that it was him. And it's
yeah,
the stupidest thing to recognize him from.
sure.
He played Fred Flintstone in the Flintstones and Viva Rock Vegas.
Yes, he did. Yeah. When John Goodman didn't want to do it anymore, that was like
Yeah.
early in his career, man.
Stephen
He's
Baldwin
actually a
was
great
Barney Rubble.
actor. Holy shit, man! I haven't thought about. I can picture him on the poster now
Yeah,
too.
yeah. I looked him up because the name didn't really sound familiar. I'm like, kind of looks like Fred Flintstone. And then I quickly looked at his filmography and went, oh crap, he was Fred Flintstone in the really crappy second Flintstones movie.
What else did we watch? We paused on the Mission Impossible series because he wanted to watch the '80s Masters of the Universe to get some backlog before jumping into the theaters this week.
That's fair.
And I gotta say, I still have a soft spot in my heart for the '80s version. You got
I
Lupic
mean,
really grounds the whole thing in there, with his crazy cop character, played by a guy whose name's escaping me, James Tolkien. A lot of people know him as the principal, calling everybody
mm-hmm.
slacker from Back to the
Yep.
Future. Played the same character basically as a cop in Masters of the Universe, and he was great. Nobody takes pot shots at Lupic. Really wished they had acknowledged him, but I won't say or not if he got an Orko cameo in the new one. I'll leave that up to mystery. But God, what else did we watch? There was something. Oh, because we recorded late. We recorded during the day last Friday. We then watched Mission Impossible 2 last week for
Oh
like the
yeah.
family thing. Woo, was that a piece of garbage?
It does not hold a candle to Mission Impossible.
No,
Absolutely
man.
not.
It is such a product of 2000, if there ever was such a thing. I forgot Hollywood just decided to hand John Woo like the keys to stuff for a while and just let him do his thing. And oh my God, that movie is so obscenely over the top.
Yep.
Like so over the top. So many like slow-mo spinning cut over the top, I get it. The Matrix was successful, so now everybody wants a piece of Hong Kong cinema and wire work and all this stuff, but it was, oh God, it was bad, man. It was bad. And you got the Tom Cruise long hair thing going on.
Oh yeah.
That was a rough watch. I'm glad the series really righted itself soon after.
Yeah, it was I think that was probably the low point for the series was 2.
Do you remember it?
Vaguely, I probably haven't seen it since 2004, 2005,
Yeah.
but
Thandie
I
Newton
remember it
is
not
definitely
being
the high point.
fantastic.
She's
Who?
Thandie Newton.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Well, she's
Absolutely
always the high point
stunning
in
in
pretty
that.
much anything she's in.
Yeah, so she was great. Ving Rhames was still great, as I said, sitting down a lot. I think there was one scene of him running in this one, so
Great man in the
uh
chair.
I had totally forgotten that Anthony Hopkins was a part of this series somehow.
Yeah.
So he was like the commander of Impossible or IMF or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
He was actually not bad because, it's Anthony Hopkins. But the ending scene with like the big bad was very John Woo, hand-to-hand combat, gunplay,
Yep.
all this stuff. It's almost as like drawn out and reaching the point of total absurdity as like the fight in They Live. It's just like, okay, finally he's punched him in the face really hard in slow-mo that time. Now the guy's gonna go, no, we're doing backflip kicks. Like it's
God, I love They Live. I need to rewatch that. That fight scene is so stupid. I love it so much.
yeah, just to point out just how 2000 this movie was. It's a original score by Hans Zimmer, also featuring Metallica's song "I Disappear," which is the thing that they sued Napster over,
Yep.
and a Limp Bizkit rendition of the MI theme.
Yeah, so this is definitely
it was a
a
low point for
2000
rock
movie.
music. Yeah.
Ugh.
So yeah, I would say just like go from, if you want to watch the first one, there's still something there. Maybe skip 2. I'll let you guys know about 3. But if you just go straight to Ghost Protocol, you're probably in good shape.
When does Simon Pegg comes in? What, 4? I think maybe.
Yeah, whatever.
No, 3. Looks like 3. He comes in.
Oh, all right. So I barely remember 3, or maybe never saw it. We'll find out soon enough.
Oh yeah, so there was a 6-year gap between 2 and 3.
Because he stopped because he wanted to do War of the Worlds with Spielberg.
Oh yes, that great rendition of War of the Worlds. Although it is better. Have you? And we might have to watch this at some point as punishment for being alive, I guess. The new Amazon Films version of War of the Worlds starring Ice Cube.
Oh no, it's supposed to be one of the worst things ever made, though. Oh, speaking of, ham-fisted, awful Amazon things, there was a scene in He-Man where Beastman gets taken out by a rogue Amazon truck at like an intersection, and
product placement.
Front and center.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? This wasn't exactly in the list of things we're going to talk about, but we're talking about gratuitous product placement. Weren't we talking about product placement in things last week?
We were talking about unskippable presentation in sports games now because of the fact that there's an ad for Gatorade that was contractually paid for to make you watch. Whereas back in the day, and like ESPN 2K5, you could skip Chris Berman's halftime presentation if you wanted to, which I didn't often because it was great. Not Chris Berman, just the presentation.
Yeah, Chris Berman, yeah. Which, oh god, there was something else that I want to talk about. Which
I'm a bit of a piece of shit. No, I can't.
You're that's pretty good. That was almost as good as my Dusty Rhodes. I mean, that was almost as good as having Dusty Rhodes on the podcast.
That's right. I don't know, Dusty, you still there?
Yeah, baby. I've been over here hanging out with Ric Flair.
Oh, speaking of pieces of shit.
Ric Flair, to be clear, Dusty Rhodes was an amazing man.
I think I've gotten the impression that everybody only has nice things to say about Dusty Rhodes when, from my extensive wrestling knowledge of watching Dark Side of the Ring.
Yeah, Dusty Rhodes was a very well-loved figure.
He seemed to come out the other side with nobody having bad things to say, which doesn't seem very, well, not in that era, especially easy.
Yeah, and, I mean, not to go off on a whole wrestling tangent, but, I mean, once he ended up in the pocket of Vince McMahon, Vince tried absolutely burying him because they had this big rivalry through the 80s and stuff, and once he got brought over to WWE, he tried basically humiliating Dusty Rhodes by making him wear polka dot like underwear essentially and wrestle in that. And I tell you what, man, Dusty Rhodes made that shit work. Like that guy was probably the most charismatic man and charismatic 300-pound man in polka dot underwear.
Man, that's what he said. He owned it. That's why people loved him, kind of thing.
Exactly.
He embraced everything he was. Yeah.
Well, he was the son of a plumber, daddy.
Whereas the McMahons,
tip to tail piece of shit.
Nailed it. But so very quickly, as we were saying, talking about last week about how NBA was kind of annoying me with their unskippable cutscenes because they show a Gatorade logo.
Oh, it was the NBA 2K series.
Yes, NBA 2K 26, and I believe it's been like this. This is the first 2K game that I've played in probably 6 years or so, but it was the same 6 years ago. So very clearly, it's something that hasn't changed. But yeah, we're going to be seeing a lot more branded content inside of EA Sports games, which is one of the most unsurprising things that I have seen.
Yeah.
And it's going to be, I think, in like career mode. So now with like NCAA, real life in NCAA, you have the NIL deal. So athletes are able to make money off their name, image, and likeness, which is a great thing because these colleges are making millions and millions of dollars off these athletes. But you're now going to EA, I guess, has found a way to shoehorn real life brands into NCAA under the guise of, hey, you can get an NIL sponsor. Do you want to be sponsored by Boost Mobile? Well, you can sign with Boost, and it's just,
It's
I don't know.
what it says here, a global multi-year partnership across EA Sports
Yeah.
FC and EA Sports College Football. Visa shows up where it matters to gamers, inside career modes. Oh god, that somebody actually wrote that.
Yeah, so it looks like, advertisers can now reach fans through native ad units and select EA Sports games, including digital ad boards, scoreboards, and brand broadcast overlays. Ads are dynamically served within the 3D environment with impression measurement aligned to IAB standards for greater targeting and consistency. Like, this is just...
Well, we're coming up on the, what was it, Pure O2 in that, in the movie where it's like we can cover up to 80% of a player's visual field before inducing seizures.
Yep. Yeah, I just it's stupid. I mean, I guess this is the world we live in at this point. Everything is marketing.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean we have to like it. And honestly, I'm done with EA Sports, or really EA, and I think did all of EA get bought by Saudi, or was it just EA Sports?
I believe it's EA in its entirety.
Yeah, I think so.
Since they bought out the exclusive rights to the NFL, I've been pretty anti-EA, and they haven't produced anything that I've really cared about in the sports realm since that era that was great when they had competition. But we just predict these things, Wyatt, because we are...
Nostradamuses.
Nailed it. But yeah, so very quickly, the Saudi Arabia's public investment fund owns 93.4% of the company, and Jared Kushner's affinity partners owns 1.1% of EA now. So I'm all out on EA. I'll just play some updated 2K5 if I want to play an NFL game at this point.
To everybody that's like, well, it's not that bad. Well, expect more because give them an inch, they're going to take a mile, baby, and they want return. They need return. The Saudi investment fund is kind of broke right now. They started building the line and then realized how fucking dumb it was.
Yeah, LIV, didn't that just recently crumble?
Not working out, LIV. Oh, I really feel bad. The PGA should tell every one of those stupid bastards to get bent, honestly.
I really wish they would have.
Back.
Yeah. You guys made your bed. You said you didn't want to play here. You wanted to make all your money. Guess what? It folded. Well, sorry. But, again, I guess if you've got some of the best golfers in the world, they do want to put out the best product. But, yes, I'm a very spiteful person.
I like money. Yeah.
Yep.
I like money, though.
Exactly.
Fuck art. Oh, dear.
Yeah. So, I recently came back home after being gone for about 5 days. And I actually made it home.
Your baby got you there and back, man.
It did.
Good old Vanagon.
Yeah, the day after we recorded last week, because we recorded, Friday morning, Friday afternoon. Saturday, took a trip from central southern New Hampshire up to essentially the Canadian border in my 1985 Volkswagen Vanagon. That I think the longest trip I had done before was about 70 miles. I bought this back in 2024, I believe. And it's just been, let's call it a labor of love since I bought it, fixing
an
things.
Ongoing project.
Yes, which is fine because it's still fun. So, because it hasn't bankrupted me yet. We'll see when the really, big thing happens and I need, 10 grand to fix it. That's what I'll be calling up our buddy Joe and flying him up here to help me replace a motor.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought part of the charm of owning one was wrenching it a bit.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
They basically, the old adage is if you don't know how to work on a vehicle or you don't have the money to pay someone that knows how to work on one of these vehicles, do not buy one of these vehicles because it's not if something is going to break, it is when and how often things are going to break. But we took I believe it was 210 miles from door to door, and Jivan Choi frickin' chugged right along, buddy. It was a good trip. We stopped.
Is the not if but when because of just being 40 years old, or just because they were not very reliable when produced? You'll have to forgive my ignorance.
No, it's fine. The answer to that is yes, essentially. Especially 1985, I believe, was the first year, and I could be wrong. It might have been 84, but 84 or 85 was the first year that Volkswagen did a water-cooled motor in one of the Vanagons. And the only thing that they really did to differentiate it from an air-cooled motor was they slapped a giant radiator on the front of the van. And if you don't know, a Vanagon has a rear engine in it, so you just have coolant pipes that are running the length of the entire van with, about 780 gallons of coolant that have to run through that thing. So
not the most efficient delivery method.
no, not the most efficient. And German engineering is both amazingly amazing and amazingly terrible, depending on what they're designing. And the Vanagon is an example of both of those things. But yeah, I was fully expecting. I'd packed some, extra coolants, a couple quarts of oil, a fuel pump, a few things that, if they broke, I could fix it on the side of the road. Fully expecting that there was going to be some issue, because that's what my experience has been since I bought the van.
What year is yours specifically?
85.
85.
85.
So
yeah.
Yours came out right in the height of the He-Man era, as it were.
Exactly. There's the He-Man van. the He-Van Choi is what I guess I'll call him now.
Oh, there had to be an airbrushed one out there somewhere.
Oh, I guarantee it. But so it was cool. We went up to Pittsburgh, New Hampshire, where we were staying was about 1.5 miles from the Canadian border. So I thought about making a run a couple times, but I mean, I am a Canadian citizen, so by birthright, so I could probably maybe just run there. And
I'm sure that's how the whole thing works, right? No, it's cool. You can let me in. I'm just gonna go pick up my paperwork and then come back.
Exactly.
Over. Yeah.
I mean, they're pretty nice, right?
I'll be back next time I need to go to the doctor.
Yeah. But so it was a fun time. We stayed up at a friend's off-grid cabin. I showed you some pictures of our friend John's solar setup that he put together there.
Nice.
And it is a legit like off-grid cabin, but I mean, they've got running water, he's got satellite internet, he's got pretty much all the creature comforts that you would want just off-grid. It was
he's got
pretty
like the
fantastic.
whole solar shed that it is really nice the way to do that, and then had a real inverter feeding out to batteries and stuff. I kind of bought the kit. He really DIY'd.
He DIY'd pretty much.
It was very impressive.
Yeah, I think he built about 95% of that cabin from the ground up. There was a cabin that was on the property when they bought it that was literally just a hunting cabin. There was no running water. It was just a place for some guy to come up north to go hunting. And they knocked it down, built that cabin in its place, and it's absolutely beautiful. We live in a spot right now that's pretty removed from the road, so it's fairly quiet here compared to where we lived before. But I mean, buddy, you want to get away from everything? You head up to Pittsburgh, New Hampshire. You can hear a friggin' mouse fart from about 2 miles away. There's nothing going on. I
could get into that. Yeah, you sent me kind of like a quick reel video, whatever you want to call it, of just doing a pan shot of, I guess you're standing on kind of a covered
3-season
deck.
porch.
Yeah, and a light patter of rain occurring across the beautiful green, lush forest landscape. It was, one of those coffee commercials. You should be standing in a robe with the steam coming off of your cup, just breathing it all in, man.
Yeah,
it looked awesome.
It was great. So we had some pretty good food. I'm now trying to think back of what we had. I had pre-made some ribs, so we just reheated some ribs up there one night.
Oh, dope.
Our friend Marie, John's wife, she made a lasagna she brought up the first night, which was a really good lasagna. And then we probably ate a metric ton of snacks between candies and cookies and chips and popcorn. The highlight,
like you go away for the weekend in order to make the Costco or the BJ's or the Sam's run for snacks, because you get to indulge in all your favorite things.
Oh, that's one thing that and I'm pretty sure I took a picture of it. Almost every trip that Caitlin and I go on, we bring enough snacks. Even if we're gone for 4 days, there's enough snacks there that would a normal family, mind you, Caitlin and I are 2 people. We bring enough food for like a normal family of 4 to last them a month. And I don't know why, but it's like, we're away from home. We're going to let loose.
It's for everybody. And as the great John Candy said, and I'm hungry.
Yeah. Exactly. It was a lot of fun. I helped John out. He ended up buying a, I think, pontoon boat last year that he hadn't got on the water yet. So I helped him get it all cleaned up, and we got that out for its maiden voyage. And we found a free canoe on the second Connecticut lake.
Nice. Just out there
It-
floating.
Yeah, it was. We were going all the way around the lake, and we were coming back, going, I guess, the end of the lake, and I looked over at up against like the reeds and over on the shore. I'm like, I think that's a canoe that's over there. And John was like, "Oh, let's go check it out," because I didn't know like maybe someone, because it was near some wetlands, and then the woods were behind it. So I was like, "Oh, it might be someone that just went over there and they're just
Some
wandering
poor
off in the woods."
bastard comes out of his hunting blind and finds his
Yeah, right.
boat gone.
Well, we got over there, and it was very clear. Like, it was tied to a tree that very clearly washed away in one of the storms that happened. So someone must have tied it to a tree
Cool.
somewhere, and it ended up somewhere else. There were no identifying markers on it. There was nothing on it. There was no serial number. So it was like, well, let's tie this to the back of the pontoon boat and bring it back to shore.
I'm just very Simpsons. Look at all this great stuff I got down in the marina. It was just sitting in some guy's boat.
We were, to be fair, we hung out there for about 45 minutes,
Yeah.
and I yelled hello a bunch to see if anyone was around. So my conscience is clean at
I'm
this
quite
point.
sure that your story is the correct one, but I like inventing scenarios in my head where you've just like screwed some guy over.
Oh, believe me.
Comes
That's what I said was happening when we were there. I'm like, there's definitely a guy that just wandered off in the woods and is taking a nap somewhere. And the guy's now stranded in the middle of the second Connecticut lake. But
That's pretty.
It
He was with a friend and they had gotten separated anyway. It's an opening to a horror movie. Roy, you bastard! If you think this is funny, it's not. You can't just do this.
well,
Dun,
you know
dun,
what?
dun, 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 dun.
If you're still out there, sir, and you're listening to our podcast, I apologize.
Come get your boat.
Yeah, go see John and Marie. They have your boat. I'm sure they'll be happy to give it back to you.
It's at Cabin in the Woods near Canada. Good luck.
Yep. You'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a really relaxing time. I had told you, and again, this is playing into our Backlog Buster Brothers. There was really no media consumed. We watched some World Cup games, but aside from that, I didn't watch any movies. I hadn't played any games for the last week or so, and it was really damn nice to just not. I guess.
Reset a bit. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, I finished, I think I'm about 65% finished book 8 of Dungeon Crawler Carl. I went through a bunch of that, read some magazines and some articles on websites that I don't really get a chance to, aside from maybe we skim articles for the podcast, an hour before recording. But it was nice to, I mean, I say disconnect and I'm looking at, a website on my phone, but it's more reading than it is, I guess,
Participating in social media. Yeah.
Right. Looking for that feedback. But so then we went home and I found it's a place called Super Secret Ice Cream in Bethlehem, New Hampshire. It has been a James Beard Award finalist for the last 3 years, 2024, 2025, and 2026, which is kind of unheard of for an ice cream shop.
Yeah, I was going to say for ice cream, or for
yeah.
anybody, but for
Yep.
ice cream, that's
Yep.
impressive. Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't realize because I mapped out our entire trip on the way up because I didn't want to be stranded without being able to get gas, because the gas mileage isn't amazing on Vanagon's, and going back to amazing German engineering, the gas gauges don't really work in Vanagon's, just kind of by design. Basically, once
This
you
was
hit,
intentional.
yeah, once you hit a quarter of a tank, it's basically anyone's ball game at that point. So I tried not to fill up, or tried not to go any further than a quarter of a tank left in the
Just treat
fuel
that
tank.
as your E, basically.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And the thing that kind of makes that even harder, because you could go, okay, cool, you bring it down to a quarter of a tank, you can at least look at your odometer and just your trip odometer and see how far you've gone. Maybe you could just be like, okay, cool, I know that this brought me to here, so I probably can make it, let's say 220 miles before I need to get fuel. My odometer also doesn't work, so
Nice.
yeah, it's been on the list of things to fix. It's not necessarily needed. And my rule of thumb is about 180 to 200 miles. I try and find a place to fill up. But anyway, so I'd set our route heading up north, and I had set the gas stations I wanted to hit. And Friday, oh yeah, I guess there's the way up. We stopped at North Country Family Restaurant in, I believe it was Groveton, New Hampshire. I sent you guys some photos of that when I had sat down there. A
What was
really, what's that?
I'm trying to think back to what it was. No, go ahead.
It was just a little rinky-dink family diner in a town in the middle of nowhere. It was 7 o'clock on a Saturday. Sorry, not Friday. On a Saturday, we were the only people in this restaurant. This restaurant I really appreciated because at first when I walked in, I was like, oh, this is like a general store / restaurant. And then I sat down and I looked around and I was like, nope, they literally just sell cigarettes behind the counter. There's no like general store stuff. It's just they sell cigarettes at the counter and then there's seating in the next room. And I was like,
okay,
yeah,
now I'm
like,
remembering the picture you sent.
I was like, that's kind of interesting. I appreciate it. And I got some poutine because, you know, I was up in the North Country, New Hampshire, and I absolutely love me some hand-cut fries, duck gravy, and cheese curds, and that hit.
Is there ever a time where duck gravy's not going to hit?
No, absolutely not. And I also got a Reuben for dinner, which was very serviceable. I was going back and forth between about 100 different things, and I was like, you know, when in doubt, if I see a Reuben on a menu, that's what I'm going with.
Because well, a Reuben, like even if it's not a very good Reuben, it's still going to be a pretty satisfying sandwich
exactly.
for the most part.
Yeah. Which it was. It was very good. The poutine was really good. And then we got a slice of carrot cake to go, and the carrot cake was spot on. So it was a
Sweet.
nice little gem that we found. But so heading up, we stopped at this gas station in Bethlehem, New Hampshire, and I filled up, and I wasn't really paying attention or anything. And we ended up getting back up to Pittsburgh, and a couple days later, I was trying to map our way back down home, whether or not I wanted to go the same route or if we could go somewhere different, because I had a better idea of what the van could do, and I was a little more hopeful on the way down than I was on the way up that, you know, we'd be able to make it. And I happened to look at the route, and I looked at that gas station. We stopped at Bethlehem, and I saw like maybe 1,000 feet away from that gas station, I saw Super Secret Ice Cream, and I'm like, oh my god, that's where that place is? So I told Caitlin, I'm like, oh yeah, we're 100% stopping here on the way home. Like, I've heard amazing things about this place. Like I said, James Beard Award finalist 3 years in a row. I'm like, we need to get this.
So you hadn't planned on stopping there at all. You were just aware
nope.
of it previously and happened
yeah,
to
I knew it was a place.
Basically.
Yeah, I knew it was in northern New Hampshire. I knew it existed. I never really looked any further than that. I was just always like, yeah, maybe, you know, someday I'll make a trip to go up there, not realizing that I was going to be driving essentially right past it on this trip. Because it's probably an hour and a half from my house. So, I mean, I would definitely need to be doing something else. As much as I love ice cream, I probably wouldn't drive 3 hours round trip to get a thing of ice cream.
I wouldn't put it past you, but
I wouldn't, you know, honestly, honestly, I wouldn't either. And if there was going to be some ice cream that I would drive for, man, this stuff was...
I was going to say, maybe now you might be willing to. Who knows?
This stuff was S tier. Caitlin had told me when we were there, because they sold the stuff they have in pints that they make fresh that day. And she's like, well, why don't you get a couple pints? I was like, you know, I don't know. And I kind of regret not. Because, I mean, they had some unique and some normal flavors, but everything they do there is in-house, whether it be their toppings, homemade whipped cream, whether it be, you know, all of their flavors are made in-house. It's all small batch made every day. And I think Caitlin got what was it? A rhubarb almond crunch, I think, which was
my language.
Yeah, which was really good. And we also got fresh made waffle cones, which were
nice,
amazing.
So they like hot roll them kind of thing to form them. Yeah, I love that. That's so good.
Yeah, so she got rhubarb almond crunch, which is a sweet cream ice cream with rhubarb jam and an almond crunch. And I got a scoop of Mount Cabot maple, which was maple sugar ice cream from Mount Cabot maple, which isn't wholly unique, but I love maple ice cream. And it was it wasn't like overly mapley, but it had enough maple flavor and it was just creamy enough that it was so good. And I also got a vanilla bean creme fraiche, which, holy crap, that ice cream was so damn good.
That's
Like
I mean, it's ice cream made with creme fraiche. That has to be
it was
indulgent, I imagine.
yes, it
Yes.
was like you had the nice fresh vanilla bean flavor with like the sourness of the creme
Yeah.
fraiche, and
But
it
like real
played.
vanilla, I'm sure.
Yes.
So
Yeah, no,
yeah,
yeah, it
whole
was
different
actual
ballpark.
vanilla bean. You could see
Yeah.
the flakes of vanilla bean in it, and oh, but yeah, they had let me see some other stuff that's I'm quickly
I would
looking at
love that.
their yeah, they have honeycomb ice cream, which I regret
Nice.
not trying. So that was a sweet cream ice cream made with honeycomb candy from a local apiary. They had a wild timur pepper ice cream, which I kind of regret not trying because sorry, it's Timor. They gave me the pronunciation right in the thing. Um, they had single origin chocolate. They had their own homemade coffee ice cream. But yeah, they do like 12 to 14 flavors a day. And dude, if whenever I get you guys up here, I need to get all of you up to.
That's when we'll make the 3-hour round trip.
Yeah, we will all go on a camping trip, and we will
There you
go
go.
up there, and we will film our giant podcast episode with all the guys that we didn't do in California at Super Secret Ice Cream.
You said it's sweet cream ice cream. Got me thinking. Yeah, I had that before in Maryland in season when sweet corn was in season. They do a sweet corn,
Yep.
sweet cream ice cream. That was actually really good.
That
Strange
sounds
as
amazing.
it might sound, yeah. And
Oh no,
I
that
haven't
sounds
thought about
great.
I haven't thought about sweet cream ice cream since until you just mentioned it just now. So I'd really like to try it.
Well, we'll get you out here, and we'll try that.
Yeesh.
But so yeah, that was the way home. We ended up coming back home, and then I had a very enjoyable, so enjoyable weekend of Banana Ball.
It was bananas. What'd you say?
Yeah,
We're
Banana
making
Ball.
shitty
Yeah, it was
dad jokes.
it was absolutely BANANAS.
I don't have that drop, but I'm happy that you had fun.
Yeah, it was I had tickets to all three games. It wasn't actually the Savannah Bananas, so for people that are somewhat familiar with what it is, the Savannah Bananas are a baseball team. They used to be a collegiate league summer team that would play some exhibition games by their own rules, which basically made baseball "quote unquote" more fun.
Yeah, we've talked about it quite a bit on this show, I think.
But we could be picking up a new listener here.
Oh
so
no! By all means, please.
But yes, we have talked about it a little bit here because this was my fourth, fifth, and sixth games that I've seen since they have been around. But so the idea is it's entertainment, and if you can't deal with a lot of stuff going on around you at all times, you're not gonna have fun. I'll just you absolutely won't. Like there is music playing, and there's like 20-second clips of songs playing for 2 hours straight. Every half inning, there's some new game. There's so much fan participation. It's like, get out of your seat. We're gonna do this. Everyone do this. All right, we're gonna do it's just it goes for 2 hours straight. And
I question whether I could handle it. That sounds like sensory overload.
I brought the first game I went to up in Portland, Maine. I brought Caitlin up to, and she was like, "That was cool to experience. I never want to go to it again because it was too, like you said, sensory overload." She's like, "There's just so much going on. There's the baseball happening on the field, but as there's games happening on the field, you have like some of the players that are in the stands doing some stuff. You've got this and that going on." For someone that
gotta keep that attention span, man. It's the TikTok world. You gotta keep people entertained from all angles.
And they are creating TikToks during the game, like every
there you go.
35 minutes they're filming a TikTok video for something. Like Jesse Cole, the man who owns the Savannah Bananas, he's done an amazing job putting this together. So it used to just be the Savannah Bananas, like I said, that played some exhibition games, but also played some real baseball in a collegiate league. But then they realized there's a ton of money to be had just playing this brand of banana ball. So they toured last year doing that. I think there were 3 teams. There were the Tailgaters, the Bananas, and the Party Animals. And
very befitting name.
Yeah. So this year they actually started a banana ball league. So there's now 6 teams, which obviously the idea of this is you have more teams playing this brand of baseball. You can go to more locations. You can make more money. More people can see the games.
Yeah, so I definitely noticed like you were at what looked to be like a AAA ballpark or just not a small park, but a smaller comparatively.
Yeah, our AA ballpark.
Yeah, and I know that the Savannah Bananas are touring like major sports facilities these days. So it makes a lot of sense now to explain that you were seeing kind of two of
Yes.
the offshoot teams
Yep.
in the league, as it were, play each other, and the Bananas are not actually there.
Correct. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
This was the Loco Beach Coconuts versus the Austin Firefighters. So it was two of the teams within the league. So yes, at this point, because the Bananas are the, I guess, brand name team, they're playing
Mhm.
places like Gillette Stadium. They're playing places that you can pack, 60,000 people into. That being said, the quality really isn't any worse. Honestly, I've seen 3 Savannah's Bananas games, so I've seen, the premier team playing. It's just the players on the Bananas get a little more, I guess, coverage because they're the team
Yeah.
that's known. They get all
Well, they introduced it to everybody,
exactly.
but it's like going to see the Cirque du Soleil show. That's kind of the second or third one. That's
Right.
not the main one that everybody wants to see necessarily, but it's still just as brilliant of a product at the end of the day.
Yeah, and everyone had a blast. It was awesome. I mean, I think the stadium holds about 7,500 people, and it was sold out every night, which I have never been to a New Hampshire Fisher Cats game at that stadium that has ever been sold out.
There
I've
you go.
seen maybe, usually when I go, it's anywhere between 500 and maybe 2,000 people. Like, it's double A baseball. Not a lot of people are really going to see double A baseball, but when you have, this touring extravaganza coming into town, the people came out. It was a lot of fun. I got ice cream all 3 days that I was there. That was the only line in the
I saw
stadium. Or that
those.
was that was the only booth in the stadium that didn't have like a 4-mile long line. So when I showed up at each game, I just went right to the ice cream booth. Maybe waited behind one person, got my ice cream, just went and sat down and enjoyed the game.
Nice.
Yeah, it was great. So I had tickets behind home plate for all 3 games. The second game, I was second row. The other games, I was like 10th or 11th row. But it was a lot of fun. The Coconuts won 2 out of 3 games of the series. And I think I'm going to sneeze here. Let's see.
Well, I'll give you the chance to see if you're going to sneeze and ask you this. So, yeah, it's very Harlem Globetrotters-esque of a product. Are the guys really competing with one another and trying to beat the other?
Yeah.
Because I know that there are parts where it's like if they strike this guy out, everybody in the stands gets a free such and such or something.
Yeah,
Like-
so that's one thing that I will say is that it is only Harlem Globetrotters-esque in the fact that they do like tricks. There are 100% games that are being played. Yes, there's a batter each game that is, at least here in New England. I'm sure they do something else for other locations, but they had, the Dunkin' Donuts donut batter of the game. and
That's
if a
what it
batter-
was. Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah.
If a batter strikes out, they'll toss a bunch of Dunkin' Donut munchkins into the crowd. So the first 2 games, a guy struck out, so you're like, oh, well, it probably... But no, the guy that was the, batter for the third game, he had 3 hits, didn't strike out once. So, they do some goofy stuff. There's the whole idea behind it is to be flashy. So, you get points for doing
catches and all that stuff. Yeah,
you get points for doing trick plays, and that gets counted into category. And the idea behind the trick plays is if and I guess I'll give a very brief overview of Banana Ball. So, every inning is a game. You get a point if you win the inning. So if the away team scores 2 runs in the top of the first and the home team scores 0 runs in the bottom of the first, the home team gets 1 point. And they keep points by inning until you get to the 9th inning, and then it's every run counts as a point. And if the away team has more trick plays than the home team, they get a point in the 9th inning to, kind of, I don't know, make it more
Boost 'em.
interesting. Yeah, so there's some fun rules, which I wish it didn't happen. People blew it. If a fan catches a foul ball, counts as an out, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
And if a fan catches a foul ball for an out, usually that turns into a big whole thing. Like, they will bring the person onto the field. The team, that they caught the ball for will celebrate with them. Like, it is very fan involved.
That's the entire thing's meant to be very participation based. Yeah, obviously. Yep.
Yeah. So if you're worried that, you might get pulled on the field to do something, then maybe don't try to catch a ball or just run away. But the one thing that I wish we got to saw, and we almost saw it on the second game, is if the game is tied after 9 innings, they go to the showdown, and that is one
Blood
pitcher.
sport.
Pretty much, yeah. It's
Oh.
one pitcher versus one batter with one fielder. And
Oh, that's dope.
yep. So the batter puts the ball into play. He has to try to make it home. And the fielder and the pitcher have to get the ball. Well, sorry. There's a pitcher, catcher, and fielder. So
I got what you meant.
yeah. But I don't want someone, we got all these people, these thousands of people that listen to us that, would come and correct me on that. So because we're a very popular podcast if you guys haven't realized that yet. But yeah, I was really hoping we got a chance to see that because that just sounds so cool. Usually the fielder stands behind second base and you get the pitcher, and then literally if a guy hits a ball, he's trying to go from home to home while the fielder is running anywhere on the field to try and get that ball and get it back home.
Yeah, and what audience isn't going to love to watch that? So yeah,
right.
That's fun.
So
I'm glad you enjoyed it, but it sounds like not everything went perfectly.
Yeah, and so this goes more to the heart of what Chump of the Week really is meant to be. I know sometimes we use it to air our grievances and say what really grinds our gears. And, the whole idea behind Mort Krim's Chump of the Week is, maybe you're the middle school canceled pepperoni pizza on Fridays. You, sir, are a pepperoni. But, so this isn't like, this was
I'm
just
giving
annoying.
you gold. Don't make me shovel crap.
Oh, I love Mort.
I love me some
You
Mort.
know he doesn't post his stuff online.
No. Gotta watch live, man. That's the more Krim difference.
So the first game, my buddy Dylan, he works for a local college, and they have a parking garage that's right next to the stadium. So he was able to get free parking at the garage, which this is my secondary Chump of the Week, or maybe it could even be my first Chump of the Week. Tickets to the game are $35. And that's another thing with like Banana Balls. They try to, as much as they can, make it family friendly to get out to a game.
I think we talked about that, about the built-in pricing system.
Right.
It's a good overall.
Yes. Yeah. But obviously they have no sway over what places charge for parking because they don't own any of the parking places.
Bleed them for every dollar they got. Yeah.
Yeah, they were charging at the parking garage, which, given it was right next to the ball field, they were charging 50 bucks to park for a $35 ticket.
I could see it. Yep.
And remember, like, this isn't downtown Chicago. This isn't Boston. This is Manchester. I parked probably 3/4 of a mile away in a free parking lot. Like, and I understand there's a convenience if you're not able to walk. I know that there's, mitigating factors that may mean you can't do that. But I have never seen parking that high. Fisher Cats games, I think it's like $20 to park in that garage.
They know it was going to be a sellout.
Oh, absolutely.
So they know that there's a certain percentage of the crowd that are willing to pay that premium to be right there. So
that parking garage was absolutely packed for all three games. So the amount of money that was made was wild. But anyway, so we parked there. We got back to our car. We get in the car, we start going, and it's an absolute madhouse, which is why I did not park anywhere near the place for the next two games, because wait, the amount of time it took us to get out of here, I can go walk to my car and get home before we even got out of this garage.
Yeah, I think we're both big believers in, we got legs.
Just walk. Yeah, yep. They work for now. I'm going to use them.
They work.
So we get in the car, we end up in this line, and we know we're going to be there for a while, so we're like, whatever. And this dude comes out. And let me ask you this first. So, what is your etiquette when you're in a parking garage? Like, a busy parking garage, how are you pulling out of your spot? Like, what determines what you're going to do?
As far as, it's backed up traffic everywhere,
let's say it's backed up. Yes. What are you going to do in that situation?
Get out. I'm generally going to put on, the reverse lights so people know I'm waiting to get out, but I'm going to wait until somebody gives me the little wave. Generally, if it's dead stop traffic and this guy's already been waiting in line, if nobody's letting me in, I'm going to have to force myself eventually.
Okay, so you're going to do what I think most of us do. You're going to make the hole where you can. You're not going to run someone off the road or run into someone, but you're going to be a little aggressive if you have to, and you're going to stick your nose out there.
Oh, definitely. I'm definitely sticking my rear or my nose out and letting everybody know that I intend to be coming out. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. And I think
expect
that is
a lot of out of humanity. I don't think that, I like to think that most people are going to wave you out. Right.
So, and that's how I feel too, is that either I have two philosophies on it, depending on where I am, what I'm doing, when I need to be home. Either one, I'm just sitting in my car and I'm watching YouTube or I'm putting on something on, the radio, and I'm going to hang out until it starts to clear out. If I'm in no hurry, whatever. Who cares?
Mhm.
Two, I'm doing exactly what you said. I'm sticking my nose out there and I'm going to make sure that, I can get out there. Am I going to maybe piss someone off a little bit and when they go, fuck, fine, I'll let you out?
Yeah.
Sure. But then that dissipates and whatever. This guy, who towards the end of this saga, the four of us in our car realized, oh, this guy is pissed. And by pissed, I mean like the Australian pissed. Like he was drunk off his feet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He wasn't driving, thankfully.
Oh, that's good.
But so the guy gets out of his car and he comes and stands right in front of our vehicle.
I'm mad!
Is that what he did?
No, he asks us to roll the window down.
Yeah.
And we're like, okay. He's like, can you stop so we can pull out in front of you? And my buddy Dylan, who's driving, is like kind of just shell-shocked at this point. He's like, I guess? Sure. And then like we roll the window up. And we're like, that's really friggin' weird. And then so the guy does that. So we have this verbal agreement. And then he decides to stand in between his car and the car in front of him to make sure that we cannot do anything.
Oh yeah, well he's wasted and he's like, I'll take care of this for us. You're
Oh, yeah.
worried. I got this.
He was there for 25 minutes, Nick. It was 25 minutes until we moved. And the other so then
And he stood his ground the whole time.
Yes. And we had made we had said some things and it was just to the four guys in the car. We weren't saying it to him. It was, you know what you do. You make jokes.
Well, you
threaten-
assigned him a name, Parking Garage
Yeah.
Gary, right? Yeah.
Yeah, you threaten some light felonies that you're not actually going to do, but, it makes you laugh in the time.
Oh, I enjoy making up backstories for them.
Oh,
too.
yeah.
Yeah.
So this is going on, and then another woman comes up, and she's like, hey, will you let us out, and blah, 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 and then Dylan's like, what the hell is why is everyone asking us? And he was like,
Yeah.
Sure, I guess. So, and at this point, Dylan's like, all right.
What's Gary gonna do?
Yeah, well, we all agreed, we're like, okay, if he goes back to his car, we're closing that gap. We're not letting him out. Screw him. But no, because apparently Dylan didn't think it through like I did, because he's like, oh yeah, as soon as he gets back to his car, I'm doing that. I'm like, dude, he's going to stand there until the vehicle backs out, and then he's going to get into the vehicle.
Oh,
He
I
was
thought that's the situation that had already occurred, and for some reason he was like waiting for it to be able to pull in all the way in front of you or something. And
No, he was still sitting in his spot. The car was in the
Okay.
spot, and the guy was
Oh.
standing in front of Dylan's car,
But
in
you just
between the
hadn't
car in
moved.
front of him.
Yeah, got
Correct.
it.
We just hadn't moved for 25 minutes. So, and I had said that to him. He's like, oh, crap. I didn't even think about that. He's like, yeah, I guess I'm not going to have a chance to go. So, it was just this whole situation. It was very funny and frustrating in the moment. But yeah, we dubbed him Parking Garage Gary. And I just got to say, I'm glad you're on the same page as me. If you're in a parking garage, do what we do. Either wait for a turn, just hang out. If you got nothing going on, listen to something. Or, if you're a little more aggressive, and sometimes you are, just force your way in there. Someone eventually is going to let you out.
Zipper merge it.
Don't be like Parking Garage Gary and get, drunk off your ass out of your car and come talk to someone and ask them to let you out and then proceed to stand in front of your vehicle for the next 25 minutes. Man, you're a chump.
Did he have a nice butt though?
No, he was like a
Aw.
75-year-old man with the flattest ass you've ever seen.
Oh, okay. This adds a whole new layer of.
Oh yeah, I guess I
when
should have.
you-
Yeah,
when you
this was
squeeze
a
that in.
geriatric man. This was
That's
not like a
okay.
guy in his 30s.
Yes, okay, that makes a lot more sense. He was letting you know that he was standing his
Yes,
ground. That's
exactly.
what that was,
Yeah.
Wyatt. He was yeah.
Well, New Hampshire is a
All right.
stand your ground state, so.
Sorry, Gary.
And you are my chump of the week.
Chump.
So yes, aside from that one night where it was just really more of a minor annoyance, it was a great time, and I love baseball, and baseball is amazing, even if it's banana ball.
Yeah, I got to get out and see it at some point. I'm sure the boy would love it. So, but Wyatt, we haven't had a commercial break in a long time, and I think the people need one because I really have to pee, and then we got to close out this episode because we're probably running long once again. So
We probably
I'll be
are.
right
Why don't you
back.
go pee?
Hi there, I'm Adam, Prince of Eternia. This is my kitty, Mr. Cringer Pants, the most cutest kitty in the universe. Fabulous secret powers were revealed to me the day I held aloft my magic sword and sang.
"25 years, and my life is still trying to get up that great big hill of hope for a destination."
Hey, Wyatt.
I was muted. Hey, Nick.
We are
Did you-
back, friend. How are you?
I'm pretty good. I don't have to pee.
I did. Let me just tell you. As you can hear, I'm readying some more fresh pee as we're doing this.
That's what I appreciate about you. You try to stay hydrated.
Always and forever. So, I believe we had some assignments to get through, did we?
We did. I think we need we need some theme music
A
first.
little bit of...
Nick,
You didn't do your homework?
did you do your homework this week?
I did.
All right, well, let's start with you because I just like going last.
I was assigned the David Carradine picture from 1976, I believe, as I'm pulling it up.
I believe you're right. 76 or 77.
Cannonball, not to be confused with Cannonball Run. And Wyatt assigned me this because we are still finishing out the month of June, and it was Motorsport June this
Vroom
month.
vroom.
And I gotta tell you, much better movie than I was expecting, buddy. I was kind of ready to crap on this one.
I know you were. I knew you were going to be pleasantly surprised.
And Wyatt, you just sent me a message. I don't know what that is, but it was at first its age doesn't do it any services, and I'll say that first and foremost. And I was trying to think of this when I was watching it, like whereabouts do you suppose, like where I think we reached a point in the early '80s somewhere where movies no longer felt old to me. I don't know if that's by virtue of my age or an upgrade in technology and film cameras or what, but early '80s Spielberg movie is a totally different experience than this, and this still
Absolutely.
feels very grindhousey in a lot of ways, and it opens up with some really bad audio dubbing, and I was like, oh god, what's he got me in for this time? Where it's obvious the person didn't say that in the take, but they're still just, having them record it, and the audio sounds terrible, and it's just okay. But then it turns into this grand kind of comedy adventure movie. And it's funny because I think I had brought up It's a Mad, 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 Mad World and Rat Race last week, which is essentially exactly what this movie is with the guy from Kung Fu. Am I wrong in saying that, or
No, that's
I'm
a
assuming
pretty
you've seen
apt,
this, or it's
yes,
like
oh yeah,
this is
no.
a favorite of Wyatt's as a youth or something.
I mean, I wouldn't say it was a favorite, but I've seen it, and I
Mhm.
really wanted you to see it because I had a feeling that you probably had not.
I kind of loved this, honestly.
For what it
It's a
is,
lot
it's
of
a fun movie.
it's a lot of very colorful characters, and a lot of very fun 70s car crash stuff that it's not like
Yep.
they had CGI back then, so they were really doing all of these things, and that part is really fun to watch. It's a little goofy, but in a heartfelt way, I suppose.
Yeah.
David Carradine does get to do kung fu on a lot of people, which I laughed at because I had just made a joke about kung fu last week, and it was hilarious that he's doing roundhouse kicks all the time, and he's like a man in platform shoes and a scarf driving a Trans Am doing roundhouse kicks to people. It's of the era, man, and before our time, but I have love for those types of movies. Very very low budget, low stakes, but they had to spend some money on some cars and destruction in this thing. So
Oh yeah,
who knows?
it was a pretty low budget movie too, from what I remember. I
It
mean,
has to be,
it shows.
Yeah. No, but I mean, it's just that era in filmmaking. I
Yeah.
think there's somewhere along the early '80s, stuff started to just look and sound so much better. But yeah, kudos to them for driving through and over and smashing against all sorts of fun stuff in cars. And there were stuntmen doing all that stuff for real and all of this. So it's a fun, like, I could see this as like a Saturday afternoon cable watch. You know what I mean? It is very. I don't know if it would show up on Turner Classic Movies, but it belongs on a Turner network somewhere on a Saturday afternoon.
I don't disagree at all. And I actually, the funny thing is, I'm sitting here when I assigned you this, and I 100% meant to assign you a different David Carradine movie. And it's just now dawning on me. I've seen both of these, but it's just now dawning on me that I wanted this to be the second one you watched.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Have you ever seen Death Race 2000? That was like 1975, I think.
I can picture the cover, and I may have seen bits and pieces over the years somewhere, but I couldn't tell you much about it.
All right, that was the one I wanted you to watch because it dovetailed perfectly with the other movie I assigned you, because this has David Carradine and Sylvester Stallone in it.
Oh, so we're from Driven to Cannonball
Death Race.
to
Well, I wanted
Death
to do
Race. Okay.
I wanted to do Driven to Death Race 2000 to Cannonball.
I think I can fit enough time in my schedule to squeeze in Death Race.
I think you would
before the end of the month if you need me to.
I think you can. I just give you? I just quickly IMDb'd it because I'm like, we were talking about it. I'm like, wait a minute. I think I gave you the wrong movie. But my favorite quote, and it just popped up on the IMDb page, is and it's fine. It's not going to ruin the movie, but I think it'll give you an idea of what you're in for. So Sylvester Stallone's character says, Myra, some people might think you're cute, but me, I think you're one very large baked potato.
All right. Well, now I really want to watch this movie. I'm not gonna lie. You're more like a baked potato.
Yeah, exactly. See, you got it. But yeah,
Okay.
I'm really glad you saw that you did watch Cannonball. I did want you to watch both these movies, and apparently my brain just wasn't working because for some reason I thought Cannonball was before Death Race 2000, probably because 2000 is a bigger number than no number.
No, I mean, but I did not expect this to be a comedy at all. I thought it was going to be very self-serious, like loner without a cause kind of driver guy movie, but it wasn't that. It was, he kind of is that character, but other than that, it's a lot of caricatures of different people all racing across the country, and it's fun. I had a good time.
And it's kind of, I mean, this kind of dovetails what, the beginning of the episode. Like, I miss movies that were made just to be fun.
Yeah, we don't have there's not a lot of capers going on in
No.
movies anymore. I just need a good large setup and a caper that a colorful cast of characters can all be chasing something. Yes, that's just fun.
It is. And that I think these like mid to late 70s and early 80s movies, I think there was a lot of that. There was a lot more experimenting in movies. It
was a new era of filmmaking where access to technology existed, but it wasn't quite there yet. But also, you could make something for next to nothing, and that's where you get cool shit from.
Yeah, you get movies that star David Carradine and Sylvester Stallone and Martin Kove, and like, oh god, I really want you to watch Death Race 2000 now.
Well, I'm just
I feel so
looking at my
stupid
notes.
that.
My notes for this one just said if it were made a couple years later, it would actually hold up much better. Some of the overdubbing is especially dead, which I had mentioned, but issues of tech of the time, not storytelling.
Yeah.
Which I think is certainly true. You could remake Cannonball fairly easily, and it would sort of hold up, actually.
They should remake it with David Carradine now.
That could be tough, but
think?
well, they got the self-driving cars, so if you get some really good smelling salts, I don't know. So all we got to do is prop his arms up on the steering wheel.
Yeah, just do some long shots, and is his brother still alive?
Dark.
Because his brother Robert was in Cannonball too. Cannonball also.
Oh, that was his real life brother?
Yeah, I believe so.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he played Jim Crandall.
I did not notice that. There you go. And you, good Sir Wyatt, I gave a homework assignment to, which was out of your GG backlog, but you failed to do any homework because you had the nerve to, shortly after we recorded last week, depart on a Vanagon vacation and actually unplug from the world a bit. So I'm quite okay with you pushing off your homework for now. I'll give you an extension. How's that?
Yeah, that's very kind of you. I have a feeling I could probably complete the assignment in about 20 minutes based on what it was. But yeah, I got to probably about, I don't know, as soon as you messaged me when I was like, oh, wait, I actually have time to, I'm like, you know what? It's fine. I had a lot going on a lot of not doing anything going on this week. I think we had a pretty decent sized episode as it is. It can be a footnote in next week's episode of me completing this. So let's get some new assignments. This is our last week. I believe this will be, and it depends on how we want to do it. Is this going to be the last week of Motorsports Month? Because we're going to be recording one more episode in June.
I say we stick to the recording schedule, not the release schedule.
All right. So the next week will be the last.
It's much easier for me to live in and talk about my current reality versus
than your future reality.
Yeah.
All right. So this is the second to last week of Motorsports Month that we have going on here.
Yes.
So let me give you an assignment, and this is going to be a joint assignment, which I kind of like the idea of maybe us doing a once monthly joint assignment.
We've been kind of consistently doing it anyway, just incidentally, I think. So
yeah.
I'm
so I
fine
think
with
like
that.
making it a thing, I think is, why not?
Works for me.
So have you ever played Burnout Paradise? It was out on, I think it originally came out on Xbox 360. I think it got a remaster for Xbox One and PS4.
So I can tell you this was one of the first games I ever got on Steam when I first got my Steam account. Maybe it came as a code with a video card or one of those types of situations. And I think I got Burnout Paradise Ultimate Edition on PC. And that's long before it was the remaster. And I know people, and I was one of them, so I'll say this, we're kind of gotten a huff about Paradise getting the remaster treatment because everybody really enjoyed Takedown. And I was always a massive fan of Takedown.
Which is a great game.
Other than knowing that this is the open world one and saying maybe I've completed a race or two 12 to 14 years ago or whenever it first came out on PC, I have no experience with Burnout Paradise.
All right, so there's a small reason behind assigning this. So back when this originally came out in 2008, my cousin Matt and I played this online. Like it is an online co-op racing experience. So there's head-to-head racing, but there's also like car challenges. It's like get from point A to point B or do these stunts in this order in this amount of time. And it was just some of the most fun that I think either of us, and him and I talked about this last night. It was probably some of the most fun that we've had playing video games almost ever. There was one moment, and him and I talked about this last night, and he's a listener of the podcast, so he already knows what I'm going to say because he knew what I was going to say when I told it to him last night, but he still agrees. One of my favorite gaming moments, and this is what I miss about cooperative online video games, or even just playing video games online. It felt like, I don't know, of course it was, 15, almost 20 years ago at this point, so things have changed, but it just seems like it was a lot more fun, and I don't really know how to explain that any better than saying that, but we were doing one of these co-op challenges, and our friend Frederick was playing with us, and we were coming right up against it. There was like 5 seconds left in this challenge, and I think it was because there's X amount of challenges in the game, and if you complete them all, you get XP, you get XYZ. So this was like the last challenge I think we needed to complete. And Matt and I finished what we needed to do, and Frederick was speeding down this road. We can see him coming down the road. He's, time's ticking down, 7, 6, 5, and he friggin' blows by where he's supposed to go. He doesn't stop on time. He blows past the thing, and this was, mind you, this is like a 10.5-minute challenge, and he just blows by it. We failed the challenge.
Coming in hot.
Yeah, I almost peed myself laughing. It was one of the funniest friggin' things ever. So, not that I think that's going to happen with us playing, but I just want to relive some of that and see if that experience still holds up.
Well, I'm down. I'm down. We can play it on whatever you want. I might even have a copy of the remake on PS4, honestly, or Xbox. I'll have to look.
Probably. I think I probably have it on PC. I know I have the original on 360. It's also on Game Pass. Are you still have Game
then
Pass?
we're done here.
So,
Yeah, I mean, honestly.
Because it's an EA game, so it's definitely still on Game Pass.
I'm glad we just finished shitting all over them.
Well, here's my take on that, because I know that anything that came out before, anything that came out before, fine. Anything that's being made now, no, I'm done.
All right. Well, I'll even cut it at anything post Madden deal. So I'm in
there
the
we
last
go.
20 years they can still suck it. I like everything from the EA big era in the early 2000s. That was the golden time. And they were
EA
a great
Big was the
PS2
best.
company, honestly. Boy. So then I have a movie for you, good sir.
Let's do it.
And this is not necessarily a good movie, but it's a great movie. And if you're going to talk about cars and hard driving, I feel like should be in the conversation. And you may have seen this at some point, but I can guarantee you haven't seen it recently. This is a 1998 John Frankenheimer movie called Ronin. Have you ever seen this?
Let me do a quick Google here.
I bet you'll recognize the cover.
Oh, yeah. I think this is something that I probably saw on like a TBS or a TNT.
That would be
just
very
like
in
made
the pocket,
for TV. Yeah.
I believe. Yes.
So I will say no, I've never actually seen the movie, because who knows how much was cut and changed from the TV version compared to this. But it looks right up my alley.
Okay, well, yeah, so like I said, this is a late 90s movie from John Frankenheimer, who I believe most people would probably know more from his stuff in the 70s, 80s, but he also directed a movie called Grand Prix as a director in the late 60s, and had talked about how he had always wanted to do more car stuff as a director. And this is basically the entire movie exists and plot exists of this CIA secretive plot team as an excuse for him to be able to drive cars in fun ways around narrow streets in Europe and things like that. So there's a really cool Mercedes and BMW chase scene and a mini scene in this, and all sorts of real driving, which is why I thought of Wyatt. It was kind of praised at the time, and I still think now, for the filming of, just some really cool chase scenes and, really cool car stunts that they pulled off in real life in these kind of tight spaces. And, this one goes wrong, the whole car goes in the river, that sort of thing. There's a lot of fun to be had, I hate to say it, a bit of a guy movie.
Oh no, a guy movie. I don't know, man. I don't think I can do that. But yeah, no, it looks like dumb fun. And I mean, I'm sure it's not a fun movie. It looks like it's got a serious tone to it, but I just mean dumb fun as in, I don't know, enjoyable.
Yeah, it's very, very enjoyable, and it's all built around some stupid MacGuffin briefcase that everybody's trying to get. But you got De Niro here. You got Sean Bean. I mean, when has he ever heard of production? Come on. Stellan Skarsgård's in this. Jonathan Pryce, who's the Englishman everyone knows from Game of Thrones and a million bazillion other things. I'll preface it. I'm excited to hear what you think. I'll tell you it's not a good movie, but it's a pretty good movie.
I mean, that's basically Cannonball.
That's what we do here, right?
Yeah. So I think that brings us pretty much to the end of this episode, Daddy. And
right, because it's Father's Day. Okay,
it's Father's Day.
So that would have been weird. I'm gonna let you have it.
Well, that
was Dusty Rhodes. I'm sorry.
That was Dusty Rhodes,
sorry,
baby.
Dusty. Yeah, I'm sorry, Dusty.
I'm the son of a plumber, baby. So yeah, that brings us to the end of our episode. As we've said, we're running a nice little giveaway right now for a gaming handheld that was in front of me a little while ago, and I put it away, so I can't remember. The Absolute E1 maybe is what we're giving away. I'll
That
post some
sounds right.
pictures this week.
Whichever one you picked. Yep.
Yeah, it's very easy for you to win. All you need to do is join our Patreon at either a paid tier if you want, or even our free tier, and we will be pulling the winner next week on the podcast live, and you will hear about it. When will that episode be coming out? On July 1st, you will hear if you have won. Basically, the idea behind the Patreon, it just gives you an idea to see some extra content. Nick posted a look back at our weekend at the Golden State Pinball Festival. I think I might do a write-up this month about G. Van Choi's trip to Pittsburgh and back. Gives you, if you join the paid tiers, you get access to our episodes a few days early. Otherwise, the free tier gives you access to some of the stuff that we're posting only on Patreon. It also gives you the ability to be notified when we're posting these things, because I know you're all sitting on your hands just absolutely waiting for more We Don't Have It Yet content.
Just you want to get that notification to brighten up your day that we're here to entertain and
We're here
make
for
your
you.
workday a little easier to get through. Absolutely.
That is what we are here for. We are here to make your days brighter. And I want to give a quick, shout out to my buddy Ben, who I saw at my buddy Greg's barbecue yesterday, who said he's a big fan of the podcast. And, I wasn't expecting to hear that, only because I don't know about you, but I'm not good at taking compliments. So it was
It's
weird.
hard for you.
Yeah, I am terrible at taking compliments, but I'm getting better
That's
at
one
not.
murder that had a happy ending.
I'm not. I'm getting better at not deflecting. I accepted the compliment.
Very
good. Yeah, he brought up some stuff from some of our earlier episodes, so I know he actually listens to us. So thanks, Ben, for listening. I hope you're happy to hear your name.
Ben.
And I told Derek I'd say his name, so Derek. All right, everyone. It was great recording this episode. I think we probably did another hour and a half or so, like we always do. And let's see. Have a great weekend.
Yeah.
Or week at this point, because you're not going to hear this until Wednesday.
You're having to be listening to us, and we love you, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.